These books are going to change your life. Are you ready? This is my book tour 2023. Here we go. Get ready. My favorite book is at the end, so stay tuned to the end because it is my favorite. Yeah, so if you're looking for fiction books, I'm sorry. I mainly read nonfiction, self-development books. My butts. All right, number one book I'm going to start with is Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. This is when really I kind of first started reading self-development books. I saw his videos, and he's so intelligent, and you can tell how intelligent he is within this book because he is saying all these words, and I'm like consistently having to go through the definitions of them and learn all these new words. But besides that, it's a really good book. It just gives you 12 principles to follow, and they're great. Rule number 1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Basically saying that people will treat you differently by the way you hold yourself. Another rule is treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping, and that is key. So if you're trying to just have a general rule of life, this book. I can't really say much on this one. I can't say much on Thinking Fast and Slow. I have yet to read it. This is my new book, so I think it's basically just the processes. I've read a couple pages. It's basically going through of, the instinctively thinking, like more of the animalistic, like that you have less control of, that's just instant. And then the other part of thinking where you kind of take it slower and go through different processes and where you're more in control of that. And it's just going through those two basically different types of thinking. It's 400 pages, so it's going to be a long read. I have yet to read this one. Let me know if you've read it. I'm excited about it. Ooh, one of my favorites right here. Right here. Oh, can you see it? Ooh, Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits. This book will put you on the right path. And I mean, it's great. It breaks down habits to a science. If you're trying to clean up your act, and you're trying to develop or get rid of bad habits, this book is for you. I mean, it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. And I honestly probably need to read it again, maybe 2 more times. I love this book. You need to get this book right now if you haven't read it. So this book I'm currently reading, and I've listened to the guy's Audible, and honestly, it's amazing. This one is called The Surrender Experiment by Michael A. Singer. He has the Audible, though. Let's start with that one. It's called The Untethered Soul, and this guy basically meditates for hours, and he's basically unlocked, I guess, his mind, and it's amazing. The Untethered Soul taught me so much, with the voices in your head and how to kind of control them, or I guess not control them, but to choose, he basically says that these voices, these thoughts come into your mind, and you are the observer, and you get to choose, how, if you want to believe these thoughts that you're having. Very good read on that one. And then his second book is The Surrender Experiment, and it's amazing. He basically has this theory where he just surrenders to life and just takes it as it comes, and he describes his journey throughout that whole process and how it's transformed his life. Like when people want something from him, basically he just says yes. He's like a yes man, even if he doesn't want to do it. So, I mean, like people building houses on his property, he didn't want that. He let it happen. And eventually he makes like a temple for meditation, and it's amazing. And he develops his business. It's like he just went with the flow, and it turned out to be the greatest thing he's ever done. Good book. Almost done. So I like it. This is a very entertaining read. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a And the key thing I learned with this book is, you can guess it. Well, I guess the key takeaway was how to achieve goals. I said goals weird. Basically, how to achieve goals and not take them so seriously. So for example, if you have this big goal you want to try to achieve, if you think it's an extremely big goal, a lot of times it makes you feel like you can't do it, so you procrastinate. Well, in this book, he kind of teaches you how not to hold goals on a pedestal so you can achieve these goals. Like, you have to make it seem like your goals aren't that big or aren't special, and then that frees you up so you can start achieving these things. I love it. Good book. And there's just one story in this book about how a man is fighting, I think in Vietnam or something, and he's continuously fighting, but the war's over, and he keeps going, and his brigade or whatever, and he tells this cool story about how a kid who just is kind of like a wanderer goes and finds that guy and brings him back. So that was a really cool story. I like that book a lot. This one, Making Homemade Wine. Now, I haven't read this. Someone just gave it to me because I was interested in, possibly making some wine. And he's a really cool guy. Haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. Maybe make some wine. My favorite book is at the end, so stay tuned to the end because it is my favorite. And probably the most helpful out of all these books. And if you haven't read that book, you have to read it. But this one, it is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Bam! It is a solid read, and it kind of breaks into the psychology department on, how to influence. Basically, you want to give people sincere compliments. That's the key thing. Sincere compliments that make them feel good. So, and to be genuinely interested in their lives. And that's basically how you gain influence, win friends. And I completely shortened that, but it is a good book, and I could probably read it again. Oh, this one, Trump, The Art of the Deal. I got to learn a little bit about Trump, and he's a very busy man. He's smart. Honestly, there wasn't much takeaway on this book. It was just mainly his scheduling, like what he does in a day and how he makes these deals. I did like the fact of how he makes deals, how he talks to people, and he's able to, I guess, see the money side of things very well. Like, I guess that's one of the key things is he makes the benefit for the people to have the value in things. He gives examples about buying the sky rights to this place that is overshadowing someone else, and how he sold those rights to them so they could build or something. It was interesting. I didn't finish it, and usually I finish all my books, but a little disappointed in the art of the deal. I was hoping for a bit more. Coming up on one of my favorite, if you're making a business, this is the book for you. Okay? This book right here. You ready? Bam. 100 million offers. $100 million offers. It is pound for pound one of the most value books you can buy. I mean, Alex Hermanzi is a beast of a businessman, and you can see his thought processes in this book. I mean, he shows you basically making an offer that is so good that you can't decline it. So if you're trying to build your business, whether it be service-based or product-based, it's all about making that initial offer to where people can't say no. And then he basically goes through the entire sales process and then refining process of how to make your product better and basically getting it business down to a science. The guy's super smart, and I highly like him a lot. Finally, my favorite book so far that has helped me probably the most. Drum roll, please. Bam. Think and Grow Rich. This book will teach you how to completely discard the negative thought patterns, the barriers, everything that's holding you back. He goes through some great examples on how to break certain chains that are on people's lives. And he goes through fears, like there's like 6 big fears that people have. Fear of poverty, fear of death, fear of illness, fear of criticism. And he explains on how to get rid of these things. And it is quite the read. Basically saying that wealth starts in the mind. Wealth starts in the mind, and then it progresses into reality and finances and every aspect of your life. If you haven't read this book, I really suggest you do. It's so good. I can't even express how good this book is. And if you follow the practices in this book, it's going to change your life. It's amazing. So, favorite book, Think and Grow Rich. This book, you probably need to read it 3 or 4 times. I'm on my second one, and it's good. Those are all my books. If you enjoyed this video and you like some of these books, let me know in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.